You ever wake up and just feel it? Like the day is already heavy before you've even sat up? Not because something bad happened, just because your mind decides that's how today is going to be. And you carry that weight around in your chest, in your shoulders, like you're holding something invisible that nobody else can see.
Yeah, and the strangest part is sometimes one small thing shifts it and you don't even know why.
This is the English Conversation Podcast.
Hi, I'm Mike.
Hi, and I'm Sarah. And I guess you could say, this is just a space where we talk about real things. The kind of thoughts that come up when you're driving home, or lying in bed, or standing in the kitchen at night when everyone else is asleep.
We're just thinking out loud in the kind of English that people actually use when they're being honest.
Today, we're talking about mindset, but not in that change your mindset, change your life way. More like, how does the way we think change the way a day feels? How do small mental habits, things we don't even notice, make life feel heavier or lighter?
And we want to know, where are you right now? Like literally, are you walking, sitting on a bus, lying in bed?
Yeah, drop a comment if you want, just something simple, like, I'm in my room in Brazil, or I'm on a train in Germany, or I'm cooking dinner in Vietnam. We love hearing where this conversation is happening.
We really do. It makes it feel less like we're just talking into the air, you know?
Totally.
Oh, and before we go deeper, this podcast is designed for B1 and B2 level English learners. That's basically intermediate. But listen,
Yeah, if you're A2 or just starting out, please don't feel like this isn't for you. You can absolutely follow along. It might take a little more focus, maybe pausing here and there, but you'll understand. We use real, natural English, not textbook English.
right. And honestly, the best way to improve is to listen to how people actually talk, not just perfect, polished sentences, real conversation.
Exactly. So just relax, listen. If you miss something, that's okay. You'll catch it next time.
All right. So, mindset, positivity. These words feel so big sometimes, like they belong in a book or on a poster. But I think what we're really talking about is just the temperature of your inner world.
The temperature. I like that.
Right? Like some days you wake up and the temperature inside feels cold, not because of anything specific, just the air in your head feels different.
And other days, it's warmer, softer, and you don't always know why.
Exactly. And you don't always know why. That's what makes it so confusing, to be honest.
I think a lot of it comes from thoughts, and I don't mean big thoughts like existential thoughts. I mean the little ones, the ones that run in the background.
Like what?
Like, I have to do this today. I should have done that yesterday. What if this doesn't work out? Those tiny sentences that loop quietly.
Oh, I know those. They're so quiet you almost don't hear them, but they're there, and they add up.
They do. They stack on top of each other. And by the afternoon, you're carrying this invisible load and you don't even remember where it came from.
It's funny because, not funny, but you can wake up on a Sunday morning, nothing urgent is happening, you have the whole day, and still your mind can make it feel like there's pressure.
Sunday nights are the worst for that.
Oh my god, yes. Sunday night is its own category of feeling.
It's like you're lying there and your body's fine, but your mind is already at Monday morning, already thinking about everything that's waiting.
And Monday hasn't even started yet. You're just borrowing stress from tomorrow.
Borrowing stress. That's a good way to put it.
I do it all the time. And the thing is, when Monday actually comes, it's usually fine, or at least manageable. But Sunday night? Sunday night, my brain is convinced it's going to be terrible.
Do you think that's worry or is it something else?
I think it's worry mixed with anticipation. Like your mind is trying to prepare you, but instead of helping, it just makes you tired before anything even happens.
Yeah, it's like your mind thinks it's protecting you, but really it's just draining your battery.
That's such a good way to say it. It drains your battery. And then you start Monday already at 50%.
And here's the weird part, at least for me. Sometimes I notice that I'm doing it. I catch myself thinking those thoughts and I can see them. I can see that they're just thoughts, not reality. But even then, they still affect me.
Oh, totally. Knowing it and stopping it are two completely different things.
Right, you can't just turn it off.
No, I wish you could. I wish there was a switch, but there isn't.
So, what do? Just sit with it?
Kind of, yeah. I think sitting with it is part of it. Not fighting it, not trying to force yourself to feel different.
Just letting it be there.
Letting it be there. And also, I don't know. Sometimes I try to notice one small thing that feels okay. Not even good, just neutral. Like, I'm breathing fine. My coffee tastes fine. The room is warm enough.
That's interesting. So, you're not trying to fix the feeling, you're just acknowledging that not everything is heavy.
Yeah, because when you're in that heavy headspace, it feels like everything is wrong. But it's not. It's just some things are hard, and your mind makes it feel like all things are hard.
I do that too. I'll have one stressful thing, and suddenly my whole life feels stressful, even though most of it is actually fine.
It's like your mind paints everything the same color, even the parts that don't need to be.
That's a really good image.
Thanks. I've been thinking about this a lot lately.
Why? Has something been going on?
Not really, or I don't know, nothing specific. I think it's just the accumulation of small things. You know how life can feel like that sometimes? Like nothing major is wrong, but you're just tired.
Yeah, emotionally tired.
Right. And that's the kind of tiredness that sleep doesn't fix.
No, it doesn't. You can sleep 8 hours and wake up and still feel it.
Because it's not physical, it's mental. It's from carrying too many thoughts for too long.
So, how do you lighten that? Or can you?
I think you can, but not in the way people usually talk about. Like, I don't think you just think positive and it goes away.
No, that never works. That just feels fake.
Exactly. It feels like you're lying to yourself. Everything is great when you don't feel that at all.
Right, so what does work?
I think small adjustments. And I don't mean that in a productivity way. I mean more like if your mind is spiraling, you gently bring it back to something real, something you can actually touch or see or do.
Something concrete.
Yeah, because worry lives in the future. It lives in the what if and the what might happen. And when you're there, you're not really anywhere. You're just floating in anxiety.
That's such a specific feeling, floating in anxiety. That's real.
It is, right? It's like you're not grounded. You're just drifting in your own head.
So bringing it back to something real, that's like dropping an anchor.
I like that. Yeah, dropping an anchor, even if it's tiny. Like right now, I'm sitting here. Right now, my hands are warm. Right now, I can hear the rain.
It sounds so simple when you say it like that.
It is simple, but it's not easy.
No, it's not, because your mind doesn't want to stay there. It wants to jump ahead to the next worry.
Always. It's like your mind is addicted to worrying.
Addicted. That's a strong word, but yeah, it kind of is, especially if you've been doing it for a long time.
And I think most of us have. I think most people spend more time thinking about what could go wrong than what's actually happening right now.
For sure. I mean, how often do you just sit and think, right now, in this exact moment, I'm fine?
Almost never.
Right? Because there's always something pulling your attention away. Some future thing, some past thing.
Or just the general feeling that you should be doing more. That's a big one for me.
Oh, same. That feeling is constant. Like, no matter what you're doing, there's this voice saying, you should be doing something else.
And then you never feel settled. You're always slightly restless.
Yeah, and I don't think that restlessness, it builds up. It makes days feel longer and heavier.
Definitely. And I don't think the answer is to do more. I think the answer might be to let yourself be where you are without guilt.
That's hard though.
It's so hard because we live in a world that tells us we should always be optimizing, always improving, always moving towards something.
Right. And if you're not, you're falling behind.
Exactly. But falling behind what? Behind who? It's such an artificial measurement.
It is, but it doesn't feel artificial when you're in it. It feels real. It feels urgent.
Because we've internalized it. We've made it part of how we see ourselves.
So, how do you untangle that?
I don't know if you fully can, but maybe you can recognize it. Like when you feel that pressure, you can pause and ask, is this pressure coming from something real, or is it just a feeling that you should be different than you are?
That's a good question, and probably most of the time it's the second one.
Yeah, most of the time it's just dissatisfaction with the present, even when the present is okay.
Which brings us back to mindset, I guess. Like how you see the present changes how it feels.
Right, and that's where small habits come in. Not habits like wake up at 5 a.m. or meditate for an hour. I mean habits of thinking.
Like what?
Like noticing when you're being harsh with yourself, noticing when you're catastrophizing, noticing when you're comparing yourself to other people.
Noticing. That's the first step.
I think so, because you can't change something if you don't see it. And a lot of these thought patterns are invisible. They just run automatically.
And they've been running for so long that they feel like truth.
Yes, oh my god, yes, they feel like facts. I'm not good enough feels like a fact, but it's just a thought. It's just something your brain said.
And your brain says a lot of things.
It does. Most of them are not worth listening to.
That's funny, but also true.
It is true. Your brain is not your enemy, but it's also not always your friend. It's just doing its thing, trying to keep you safe, trying to prepare you for danger. But in the process, it creates a lot of unnecessary suffering.
Unnecessary suffering. That phrase hits different.
It does, right? Because some suffering is real, some pain is unavoidable, but a lot of it we add ourselves.
Through worry.
Through worry, through overthinking, through imagining the worst case scenario over and over.
I do that. I play out entire conversations in my head that never happen.
Oh, same. I'll have full arguments with people who don't even know we're fighting.
And then you're exhausted, even though nothing actually happened.
Right, the mental rehearsal is just as draining as the real thing. Maybe more, because you do it multiple times.
Though, do you think it's possible to stop doing that, or is it just part of being human?
I think it's part of being human, but I also think you can become aware of it. And when you're aware, you have a little more choice.
A little more space between the thought and the reaction.
Exactly. You don't have to believe every thought. You can watch it come and go.
Easier said than done, though.
Oh, for sure. It takes practice. And even when you practice, you'll still get caught up. That's just how it is.
I think people want a solution, like, here's the thing you do, and then you're fixed.
Yeah, but there isn't one. It's more like tending to something, like tending to a garden. You don't fix a garden, you just keep showing up.
That's a nice way to think about it. Less pressure.
Right, because if you think you're supposed to be fixed and you're not, then you feel like you're failing. But if you think of it as tending, then you're just doing the work. And some days the garden looks better than others, and that's okay.
Some days you're just pulling weeds.
Exactly, and that's still valuable.
I like that. It makes it feel less binary, like you're not either okay or not okay. You're just somewhere in the middle trying.
Yeah, and I think that's more honest, because most of life is in the middle. Most days are neither great nor terrible, they're just days.
Right, and how you experience those days depends a lot on what you bring to them.
It does. If you wake up already defeated, the day is going to feel defeating. If you wake up with a little bit of gentleness towards yourself, the day might feel different.
Gentleness towards yourself, that's something people don't talk about enough.
No, they don't. We talk about discipline and pushing through and being strong, but we don't talk about being kind to yourself when things are hard.
Because kindness can feel like weakness.
It can, but it's not. I think it takes more strength to be gentle with yourself than to be harsh.
How so?
Because harshness is easy. Criticism is easy. Your brain does it automatically. But choosing to pause and say, I'm doing my best and that's enough, that takes intention.
And it goes against everything we've been taught. We've been taught to push, to strive, to never be satisfied.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to grow, but you can want to grow and still accept where you are right now. Those two things can exist together.
That's a balance a lot of people struggle with. I know I do.
Same. It's like I want to be better, but also I'm tired of feeling like I'm not enough.
Yeah, that feeling of not enough is so heavy. And it's everywhere. Not smart enough, not successful enough, not happy enough.
Not productive enough, that's a big one. Like if you're not productive, you're wasting time.
But rest isn't wasting time.
No, it's not. But it feels like it sometimes, especially when everyone around you seems to be doing more.
That comparison thing, that's brutal.
It is, and it's so automatic. You see someone else's life, and suddenly your own life feels smaller.
Even though you're only seeing a highlight, you're not seeing the hard parts.
Right, you're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's final edit.
And that's never a fair comparison.
Never, but we do it anyway, over and over.
So, how do you stop, or reduce it, at least?
I think you have to catch yourself. Like when you notice you're comparing, you just acknowledge it. Oh, I'm doing that thing again.
And then what?
And then, I don't know, maybe you remind yourself that you're seeing a curated version. Or maybe you just redirect your attention back to your own life, back to what's actually in front of you.
Back to the present.
Yeah, which is really the answer to a lot of this, isn't it? Just coming back to the present over and over.
It sounds repetitive when you say it like that.
It is repetitive because your mind drifts constantly, so you have to bring it back constantly.
And that's the practice.
That's the practice. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, it's just quiet persistence.
Quiet persistence. I like that phrase. It feels accurate.
It does, doesn't it? Because a lot of what we're talking about, it's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's just small, consistent choices.
Like what?
Like choosing not to spiral when something goes wrong, choosing to take a breath instead of reacting immediately, choosing to speak to yourself the way you'd speak to a friend.
That last one is hard. I would never talk to a friend the way I talk to myself.
Most people wouldn't. We're so much harsher on ourselves.
Why do you think that is?
I think we hold ourselves to impossible standards, and we think that if we're not hard on ourselves, we'll become lazy or complacent.
But that's not true.
No, it's not. You can be kind to yourself and still have direction, still have things you're working toward.
Direction without pressure.
Right. Or direction with less pressure, because some pressure is inevitable, but it doesn't have to be crushing.
I think a lot of people feel crushed by their own expectations.
Oh, absolutely. And those expectations are often not even their own. They're absorbed from family, from society, from social media.
It's hard to untangle what you actually want from what you think you should want.
It's very hard, and I don't think you ever fully untangle it, but you can start to notice the difference
Ow!
by paying attention to how things feel. Like when you think about doing something, does it feel light or heavy? Does it feel like it's coming from you, or does it feel like it's coming from outside pressure?
That's subtle.
It is, but over time you start to recognize the difference. You start to know when something feels aligned and when it feels forced.
And what do you do when it feels forced?
That's the hard part, because sometimes you still have to do it. Like paying bills feels forced, but you still have to do it.
Right, so it's not about only doing things that feel good.
No, definitely not. It's more about being honest with yourself about what's necessary and what's just noise. What's actually serving you and what's just adding weight.
And letting go of the noise?
When you can, which isn't always easy, because sometimes the noise feels important. It feels like if you let it go, something bad will happen.
But usually nothing bad happens.
Usually it's just relief. Like, oh, I don't have to carry that anymore.
I think control is a big part of this. Like, we try to control things that we can't control, and that creates so much stress.
Absolutely. And it's exhausting. Trying to control the uncontrollable is one of the most draining things you can do.
Because it never works. You can't control other people. You can't control outcomes. You can't control most of what happens.
No, and I think on some level we know that, but we still try because it feels better than accepting that we're not in control.
Accepting that is terrifying.
It is, because if you're not in control, then what? Then you're just vulnerable, at the mercy of life.
But you kind of are anyway. We're all vulnerable. We're all at the mercy of life, whether we admit it or not.
That's true, but admitting it feels different than pretending you have control.
So, what's the alternative? Just accept that you can't control things and let go completely?
I think it's more nuanced than that. I think you accept what you can't control, and then you focus on what you can.
Which is what? Your actions?
Your actions, your responses, your mindset to some degree. The way you talk to yourself, the choices you make within the circumstances you're in.
So you don't control the circumstances, but you control how you move through them.
Something like that, yeah. And even that's not always easy, because sometimes the circumstances are so heavy that moving through them feels impossible.
Like when something really hard happens, a breakup, or losing someone, or a big disappointment.
Yeah, when the pain is real and deep. And in those moments, I don't think mindset can fix it. I don't think positivity can fix it.
No, and I think that's important to say, because sometimes people act like if you just think the right way, you won't feel pain. but that's not true.
It's not. Pain is part of being alive. And when it comes, you feel it. You don't think your way out of it.
So, what do you do?
You just live with it. You move slowly. You let it be there without trying to fix it or rush through it.
That sounds lonely.
It can be. Grief is lonely. Heartbreak is lonely. Even when people are around you, it can feel like you're carrying something no one else can see.
Yeah, and I think that's where resilience comes from. Not from avoiding pain, but from learning that you can carry it and still keep going.
Resilience is such an overused word, but yeah, it's just the quiet ability to continue.
Quiet resilience. That's different from the loud motivational kind.
It is. It's not about bouncing back or being strong. It's just waking up the next day even when you don't want to, putting one foot in front of the other even when it feels pointless.
And trusting that eventually it won't feel quite so heavy.
Right. Not because you fixed it, just because time passed, because you survived it.
Time is strange like that. It doesn't solve things, but it changes the shape of them.
It does. The pain becomes different. It's still there, but it's not as sharp. It's not as consuming.
And I think that's where small habits matter again, because when you're in pain, big changes feel impossible. But small things, those you can do.
Like what?
Like making your bed, or going outside for 5 minutes, or texting one person. Just something tiny that reminds you that you're still capable of action.
Yeah, and those tiny actions add up. They don't heal you, but they keep you moving. And movement, even slow movement, is important.
Because the alternative is getting stuck.
Right. And when you're stuck, everything feels permanent. The pain feels permanent. The heaviness feels permanent.
But it's not.
It's not, even though it feels like it. Nothing is permanent. Not the pain, not the joy, not the confusion. It all shifts.
That's both comforting and unsettling.
It is, because if nothing is permanent, then the good things won't last either. But the hard things won't last either. It's a trade-off.
I guess the question is, how do you appreciate the good without holding on too tight? And how do you endure the hard without letting it define you?
I don't know if there's an answer to that. I think you just do your best. And some days, your best looks different than other days.
And that has to be okay.
Has to be, because otherwise you're just constantly disappointed in yourself, and that's no way to live.
No, it's not. And I think that brings us back to this idea of being gentle with yourself, of recognizing that you're doing something hard, living, and giving yourself credit for that.
Yeah, living is hard. Just being a person in the world is hard. Now, we don't acknowledge that enough.
We don't. We act like it should be easy. Like if you're struggling, something's wrong with you.
But everyone struggles. Everyone has days where they wake up and think, I don't know if I can do this.
And then they do it anyway. That's the resilience we were talking about.
Right. It's not flashy, it's just continuing. Even when it's hard. Even when you don't feel like it.
Do you think mindset plays a role in that? Like, does the way you think about it make it easier or harder?
I think it can. If you think, this is unbearable, I can't handle this, then it feels unbearable. But if you think, this is hard, but I've done hard things before, it feels slightly more manageable.
So it's not about being positive, it's about being realistic?
Yeah, realistic but kind. Like, you're not lying to yourself. You're not pretending it's easy, but you're also not catastrophizing. You're just meeting reality where it is.
And reminding yourself that you can handle it, even if you don't want to.
Exactly. Because handling something doesn't mean you have to enjoy it or be good at it. It just means you're getting through it.
That's a lower bar than most people set for themselves.
It is, but I think lower bars are more sustainable. If you're always trying to be perfect or strong or positive, you're going to burn out.
Yeah, and then when you do burn out, you feel like you failed.
Right. But burning out isn't the failure. It's just a signal that you need to slow down, that you need to rest.
And rest is underrated. We treat it like a luxury, but it's a necessity.
It is. Your mind needs rest. Your body needs rest. And rest doesn't always mean sleep. Sometimes it just means stopping, not producing, not achieving, just being.
That's hard for people.
It's so hard
because we're conditioned to measure our worth by what we do. And if we're not doing, then who are we?
That's a deep question.
It is. And I don't think I have an answer, but I think it's worth asking. Because if your worth is tied to your productivity, then you're never safe. Because productivity fluctuates. Some days you can do a lot, some days you can barely do anything.
And your worth shouldn't fluctuate with that.
No. Your worth should be inherent, just because you exist.
But that's a hard thing to believe, especially if you've spent your whole life proving your worth through achievement.
It is. And I don't think you just wake up one day and believe it. I think it's something you have to practice, something you have to remind yourself of over and over.
Another habit of thinking.
Exactly. Catching yourself when you tie your worth to what you did today and gently redirecting. I have worth regardless of what I accomplished.
That feels vulnerable to say out loud.
It does, because it means letting go of the safety of achievement, the safety of proving yourself.
But maybe that safety is an illusion. Maybe you can't actually prove yourself. Not permanently.
I think that's true, because there's always more to prove, always another goal, always another level. It never ends.
So, what's the alternative?
I think the alternative is just being okay with not proving anything. Being okay with just living your life without needing it to be impressive or extraordinary.
That's radical in a way.
It is, because we're surrounded by messages that tell us we need to be more, do more, achieve more.
But what if you're enough as you are?
Then you can relax, you can breathe, you can just be here without constantly striving for somewhere else.
That sounds peaceful.
It does. And I think a lot of people are searching for that peace, not through achievement, but through acceptance.
Acceptance of what?
Acceptance of themselves, of their lives, of the fact that things are messy and imperfect, and that's okay.
But acceptance doesn't mean giving up, right?
No, it doesn't. You can accept where you are and still have direction, still have things you're working toward. It's not about settling, it's about not being at war with reality.
Not being at war with reality. That's a powerful way to put it.
Because a lot of suffering comes from fighting what is, from wishing things were different, from resisting the present moment.
And when you stop resisting, the present moment becomes easier to be in.
Yeah, it's still hard sometimes, but it's not compounded by the resistance. It's just what it is.
I think we underestimate how much energy we spend resisting.
We do, and that energy could go towards something else, something more useful, or just rest.
What do you think would happen if people just stopped resisting for a day, stopped fighting with reality?
I think they'd be surprised by how much lighter they felt, even if the circumstances didn't change.
Because the circumstances aren't always the problem. Sometimes it's the story we tell about the circumstances.
Right, the meaning we assign to them, the judgment we layer on top.
So if you could change the story, you could change the experience.
To some degree, yeah. Not completely, but the story matters. The way you frame things matters.
Do you think that's what people mean when they talk about mindset?
Probably, but I think mindset has become such a loaded term. It's associated with all this self-help culture and positivity culture, and that can feel toxic.
Toxic positivity.
Yeah, like you have to be positive all the time or you're doing it wrong. But that's not realistic, and it's not honest.
So, what's the difference between healthy mindset and toxic positivity?
I think healthy mindset acknowledges the hard stuff. It doesn't pretend everything is fine. It just chooses to look for what's workable within the hard stuff.
Workable. That's a good word.
Yeah, because not everything is fixable, but most things have something workable in them, some small piece you can hold on to.
And that's enough to keep going.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes that's all you need, just one small thing that feels manageable.
I wonder, do you think people lose sight of that? The small things?
I think they do, because we're trained to think big, big goals, big dreams, big changes. But big is overwhelming. Small is doable.
Small is where change actually happens.
Exactly. You don't change your whole life overnight, you change it little by little, one choice at a time.
One thought at a time.
Right. And some thoughts lead to better feelings, and some feelings lead to better actions. And over time, those small shifts add up.
But you have to be patient with the process.
You do, and patience is hard, especially in a world that values speed and instant results.
Everything is supposed to be fast now. Fast food, fast delivery, fast transformation.
But real transformation isn't fast. It's slow and quiet and mostly invisible.
Until one day you look back and realize you're different.
Yeah, you don't notice it while it's happening, but then you have a moment where you realize, oh, I don't react that way anymore. I don't think that way anymore.
And you can't pinpoint when it changed.
No, because it wasn't one moment, it was 100 small moments, 1,000 small choices.
That's kind of beautiful.
It is. And I think that's what we miss when we focus on dramatic transformations. We miss the beauty of gradual growth.
The beauty of just becoming.
Yeah, becoming whatever you're becoming, without forcing it, without rushing it,
Just trusting the process.
trusting that you're moving, even when it doesn't feel like it, trusting that the small things matter, even when they feel insignificant.
Do you think most people trust the process?
I think most people doubt themselves. They doubt whether what they're doing is enough, whether they're moving fast enough, whether they're on the right path.
And that doubt makes everything harder.
It does, because instead of just doing the thing, you're also questioning whether you should be doing the thing, and that's exhausting.
So, how do you quiet that doubt?
I don't know if you can quiet it completely, but you can recognize it. You can see it for what it is, just your mind trying to protect you from failure or disappointment.
And then what?
And then you do the thing anyway, even with the doubt, because waiting until you're certain is, you'll wait forever.
Nothing is certain.
Nothing. And I think accepting that uncertainty is part of what makes life less heavy. Because if you're always waiting for certainty, you're always waiting. You never move.
So, you move with the uncertainty.
Yeah, you take the step even though you don't know where it leads. And that's scary, but it's also freeing.
Freeing how?
Because you're not waiting for permission. You're not waiting for the perfect moment. You're just doing what feels right, even if it's imperfect.
That takes courage.
It does. Quiet courage, the kind that doesn't announce itself.
I think that's the best kind. The loud courage gets all the attention, but the quiet kind is what gets you through daily life.
Absolutely. Quiet courage is what makes you show up when you don't want to, what makes you try again after you fail, what makes you keep going when no one's watching.
And no one sees that. It's invisible.
It is, but it's real, and it matters. Maybe more than the big, visible things.
I think a lot of what we've been talking about is invisible. The thoughts, the small habits, the mindset shifts, none of it is visible from the outside.
No, but it changes everything on the inside, and the inside is where you live.
That's true. You don't live in other people's perceptions of you. You live in your own experience.
Right. And if your inner experience is constantly harsh or heavy or fearful, then it doesn't matter what your life looks like from the outside. You're still suffering.
Though the work is internal.
Most of it, yeah. And that's hard because internal work is invisible. You can't show anyone. You can't prove you're doing it.
You just have to trust that it's working.
And sometimes you won't even know if it's working. You'll just keep doing it because it feels like the right thing to do.
That's a lot of faith.
It is. Faith in yourself, faith in the process, faith that small things matter even when they don't feel significant.
Do you have that faith?
Sometimes, other times I doubt everything, but I keep going anyway. And I think that's what most people do. They doubt, but they keep going.
And that's enough?
I think it has to be, because if you're waiting to feel certain or confident or ready, you might never feel those things. So you just move anyway. With all the doubt and fear and uncertainty, you bring it with you.
Bring it with you. I like that. You don't have to get rid of it. You just carry it and keep walking.
Yeah, and maybe over time it gets lighter, or maybe you just get stronger at carrying it. Either way, you're still moving.
And movement is life.
It is. Stagnation is where the real pain lives. When you're stuck, everything amplifies. Every worry, every regret, every fear gets louder.
So even if you're moving slowly, you're still moving away from stagnation.
Exactly. And I think that's something to remember when you feel like you're not making progress. Any movement is progress, even tiny movement.
Even just a shift in perspective.
Right. You don't have to change your whole life. Sometimes you just change how you see your life, and that's enough.
That's enough. So here's a question, and we're not going to answer it. We're just going to leave it here.
Okay.
If you could wake up tomorrow with one small shift in how you experience the day, not in what happens, but in how you feel about what happens, what would that shift be?
And before we go, let's just take a second to notice some of the language we use today. Not in a teaching way, just acknowledging it.
Yeah, like we talked about waking up heavy, that feeling when the day already has weight before it starts.
We used burn out a lot, when you push too hard for too long and you just run out of energy.
Letting go came up too, like releasing the things you can't control.
And dropping an anchor, that image of grounding yourself when your mind is floating in anxiety.
We also said spiral, when your thoughts go round and round, getting worse and worse.
Hold on to something, like holding on to a small piece of hope or a memory or just something steady.
Show up. That phrase about just being present, even when it's hard. Just showing up is enough sometimes.
We talked about tending to something, like tending to a garden. Not fixing, just caring for it over time.
And bring it back. Bringing your mind back to the present when it drifts into worry or regret.
Last one, move through something. Not avoid it, not fight it. Just move through the hard stuff, slowly.
These aren't fancy words, they're just life words, the kind you use when you're being honest.
And if any of those stuck with you, or if you want to use them in your own life, that's great. That's why we're here.
So, yeah, that question we asked, think about it if you want or don't. Either way, thanks for being here with us.
See you next time.